the Victorian city presented itself in marble facades, gaslit parlors, and portraits stiff with propriety. Beneath that surface, in workhouse, infirmaries, and police holding rooms, cameras were recording a different kind of portrait. Early medical photography and criminal record keeping produced thousands of glass plate images showing the bodies that built the empire, from spines carved from decades hunched over looms, hands missing fingers to machine presses, lungs blackened from coal dust visible in the hollow eyes, and grey skin of the subjects. These were not faces chosen for family albums. They were catalogued, numbered, and filed away in institutional archives, evidence of a labor system that consumed people as readily as coal. We're going to walk through what these photographs actually show and why they were taken in the first place. So stick around and subscribe if you want more of this kind of history dug up from where it's buried. The industrial body became its own kind of archive. A missing hand told which factory floor a person worked. A particular curve in the back showed you which trade had shaped them since childhood. Whether they hauled coal, worked a loom, or stood over a furnace for 16 hours a day. Doctors photographing these injuries were not documenting isolated accidents. They were recording the physical signature of an entire ecosystem, one that was etched directly into muscle, bone, and skin. Each plate functioned less like a portrait and more like a ledger entry, proof of what the machine age extracted from the people who kept it running. Most of these images never reached the public. Hospitals and police departments treated them as internal records, useful for diagnosis or identification, but not for circulation. The reasons went beyond simple bureaucracy. The same drawing rooms that displayed Savaras porcelain and imported silk were funded by factories where these injuries happened daily, and the people profiting from that labor had no interest in confronting its physical cost. Keeping the plates locked in archive drawers meant polite society could continue believing in its own progress without having to look at what that progress had done to the bodies underneath it. Pieces and scavengers were among the youngest workers in a textile mill, small enough to sleep beneath running machinery while it stayed in motion. Pieces rejoined broken threads on the spinning mule, reaching into the machine's moving parts hundreds of times a shift, while scavengers crawled underneath to clear jammed cotton fibers and dust from the frame. The physical tolls of these roles showed up early. Photographs from mill infirmaries document children with crushed fingers, missing hands, and scalp injuries from their hair caught in the gears. Bodies still growing were shaped by tasks that demanded them to fold themselves into spaces built for machines, not children. And the demand became permanent before adulthood arrived. The medical photographs from this period also captured a slower kind of harm, one written into the bone itself. Rickets appeared constantly among male children, a direct result of long shifts spent indoors away from sunlight, compounded by poor diet and air thick of coal smoke and chemical fumes. Doctors at the time used the term sclerosis of industry to describe the hardening, malformed bone growth they were observing in workers exposed to these conditions for years. Leg bones bowed under weight they were never meant to carry correctly. Spines carved to compensate for postures held for 12 or more hours a day. The camera recorded what textbooks could only describe: bone density and shape altered by an environment built entirely around output rather than the people producing it. Over years of repetitive motion, mill workers developed a distinct physical asymmetry that set them apart from the other laborers of the era. A body that pulled the same lever or reached into the same machine thousands of times a day did not develop evenly. One shoulder sat lower than the other. One arm grew more developed than its counterpart. Photographs taken for medical study show this asymmetry clearly. Workers whose posture told the exact story of their job before a single word was spoken. This was not injury in the traditional sense, but adaptation. The human frame reshaping itself around the specific and unrelenting demands of 19th century machinery. Factory machinery in this period ran with almost no protective covering over its moving parts. Belt drives, exposed gears, and flying wheels operated at close range to the workers tending them, and a moment of fatigue or a loose sleeve could pull a limb into the mechanism before anyone had time to react. Medical case records from the era document these injuries in direct terms: hands severed at the wrist, arms crushed to the shoulder, and workers losing limbs in the time it took a belt to complete a single rotation. Photographs taken for hospital and insurance documentation preserve these injuries as clinical fact rather than tragedy, cataloging wounds the same way a ledger catalogs losses. Prosthetic technology at the time offered little real function. Available options were mostly wooden or leather approximations designed to restore a general human silhouette rather than any working capability. A man missing a hand might return to work with a hook or a carved wooden stand-in, unable to perform the same labor but visibly marked for the rest of his life by what the machine had taken. These survivors became walking references for their communities, the altered bodies serving as a constant physical reminder of what factory work could cost. There was no concealment available to them and no discreet correction. The injury stayed visible in every subsequent year of their working life. The relationship between machine speed and working safety moved in a single unbroken direction. As factories increased output by running machinery faster, the margin for human error narrowed correspondingly. A worker's value was measured against the productivity of the machine they operated, and that machine had no need for rest, attention lapses, or physical limitation. When an operator was injured or killed, the equipment was rarely modified in response. The worker was simply replaced, another body brought in to stand in where the last one had stood. Photographs from the factory floors and hospital wards during this period capture the human cost of that arrangement in exact and sentimental detail. Evidence of a system that measured its success in units produced rather than people preserved. Thank you for watching. Until the next one.